Greetings, class, and welcome to Horror 101 and Day 10 of Professor Macabro's Halloween Marathon. Yes, class, hard to believe. It's already been 10 days since we started our little gatherings to talk about horror movies, leading up to the best day of the year, Halloween, the day when people rejoice and soak up the horror. Lots of fun. But, yes, talking for 10 days does unfortunately parch the throat a bit, so I will have myself a nice little drink. Great stuff, actually. Nothing like it in the world. Good vintage, too. Oh, good stuff. Maybe one day I'll share with you the spell to make the eternal flow bottle. I can serve myself, and this baby will never end. Someday I might share with that spell with you, class. Yes, but today we will talk about a good old adventure. Yes, it is a bit decisive for some people because it does start as one thing and then turns into something totally different. But it is that uniqueness that I thoroughly enjoy. Now, if you'll let me talk to you about this story, it starts with two brothers that have just escaped and have done a robbery. Yes, the Gecko brothers are on the run after making some illegitimate cash, and they're off to cross the border, as you do, and start a new life for themselves. So, if you haven't guessed yet, we'll talk about From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, the Gecko brothers are trying to lay low for a bit as they make their way to Mexico, where they will meet someone that will make them cross the border and introduce themselves as totally new people. Now, on their way, they have a hostage, and they run amok of a convenience store, as you do. Now, the Gecko brothers are portrayed by George Clooney, who's he's a bit of an asshole, but he's the more likable of the two. The other brother is portrayed by Quentin Tarantino, and he is all sorts of messed up. And to the point where he actually kills the hostage after it's implied he does some things that are quite reprehensible. So right off the bat, you don't get to like these two characters. Now, they need a place to hide, and they need new hostages, so they encounter this family that is on their way traveling across the world, comprised by a father who used to be a priest but lost faith in God after his wife died, and his daughter and son. And they have a camperman, so of course that makes it the perfect target for the Gecko brothers. Basically, the Gecko brothers hold them hostage, and they're like, look, yes, we're bad people, we're not really that bad. Take us to our meeting spot, and then we'll let you go, and then you'll be merrily on your way. Of course, when you have a gun to your head, it's kind of hard to argue with an offer like that. So, on they go. And you follow these 5 people on their way. The Clooney character, of course, again, is an asshole, but he's a likable asshole, really brought forth by the actor. Again, George Clooney. But again, the Quentin Tarantino character is ogling the daughter, who I might also add as a minor, so already, creepy dude. But eventually they do get to the meeting spot, which is a place called the Titty Twister. A seedy place full of bikers and truckers. It's a strip club where they, get to do their most basic, deprived needs. So they go into said bar and decide to have themselves a couple of drinks. Yes, the entertainment happens. And there you get to meet a couple of characters, one played by Tom Savini, who is a special effects guru in horror movies. Back in the good old days, not before all the CGI crap. So, it starts off as a crime thriller following these people, and then all of a sudden, they introduce Salma Hayek. And she does a very provocative dance. And that's the middle point where a lot of people go like, what the fuck happened? They start off as a crime movie, and then after that dance, all hell breaks loose. Because you see, class, it turns out that the Titty Twister is actually a den of vampires. So you went from very gritty, disturbing crime to supernatural. A lot of people, like I said, get thrown back because of that. But me, I enjoyed the twist. And, come on, it had a very nice segue with Salma Hayek's sexy dance. So, it turns into a full-blown vampire movie. One moment, if you please. I need another drink. There's a lot of drinking in this movie, so cheers again. Also a lot of green for some reason. I'll get to that. So, basically, what this whole thing is, the Titty Twister is that they attract people that, not anyone's gonna miss. They're truckers, they're, bikers, the scum of the earth, basically. No offense to, those type of stereotypes, but, so of course they feast on them, knowing that no one's gonna come looking for them. So of course, now it turns into a survival game, because the family, they didn't even really want to be there, so they have to survive the onslaught of vampires. The Gecko brothers want to make it through the day so they can go to Mexico and live their happy days, and of course you encounter the other characters. But man, oh man, does that, after the dance, does it turn into a bloodshed. Now, because of censor reasons, the blood of the vampires is all green. You can show buckets of blood as long as it's not red. So there's a lot of blood, a lot of really cool effects, but of course everything's green. So, they kill the Quentin Tarantino brother, and you're actually excited and happy about it because he was a sick person. So, you only have the family, George Clooney's character, Tom Savini's character, and some other guy whose name escapes me. But Tom Savini's character and the other guy turned into vampires, so it really just comes down to the four people, the original three family and the Gecko brother. Now, of course, the judge actually brings, the Gecko character brings a very good point, because, the priest has lost faith. He doesn't believe in God, because, what kind of God would take his wife? But the Gecko brother makes a very good point. He, being the kind of person that he is an atheist, doesn't believe in God. But if there are vampires, then that means that there's a hell. And if there is a hell, there is a heaven. Very, very sound logic. So the priest is like, you know what? That makes sense. Yeah, I take it back. I believe again. So now that he believes again and he has his faith, he can actually, bless things and take it to those vampires, because these vampires are not your sparkly, gay vampires. No. These are vicious, cruel monster vampires. But they are still, have the limitations of the vampire, specifically the religious thing. Crosses, even if you take something and just make a cross like that, works the same. And you can pretty much punch them and kill them that way. And this all leads to one epic final battle between the survivors and the monsters. That is lots of good fun. Truly, truly enjoyable. Like I said, a lot of people find that switch in tone, very, very disturbing. You start off with some very, very disturbing human crime, and then you go full-on vampire onslaught. But again, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first part. I enjoyed the middle dance, which, oh boy, just thinking about that dance. It's funny. When I talked about innocent blood, I said that there was only one vampire that beat the vampire from that movie, which I will talk about as the month goes by. But I was reminded that there are so many other great-looking vampires. And the Salma Hayek vampire, oh, baby. I tip my hat to you, madam. So, very good movie. Good effects. Not too much CG, just sparkled here and there. So, all in all, an enjoyable movie, in my opinion, and I would suggest it to you. From Dusk Till Dawn gets a solid A, in my opinion, which is the only opinion that matters because it's my video series. Very enjoyable, all in all. And once you get to that middle part, you'll thank me for recommending the movie if you haven't seen it already. Well, class, like I said, this is day 10 of my Halloween marathon. We still have 21 days to go before we're done. So, keep serving yourself some refreshing liquid refreshment. And I'll see you, class, tomorrow. Until then, good evening.